What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush, Let's Talk Jets Radio. We broadcast live every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Doing this video on St. Patrick's Day around 5:20, 5:30. So if things happen right after this video, don't rip me to shreds. I'm only going by what already happened. First off, I want to say hope everybody is safe. Be careful out there. Stay home. Wash your hands. Just be so careful. These are very trying times for all of us and our families. So just try to do the right thing, and it will get better very, very soon. Obviously, this is a quick video on free agency. Tom Brady's finally out of the division, which is great. Thank God. It has been torture dealing with him for the last 5,000 years. But I don't understand why everybody's already anointing the Jets. I could say Sam Darnold's probably the best quarterback in the division right now, but the Buffalo Bills are the better team with a better coach that just came out of the playoffs. So, the Bills right now they're a better team than the Jets from top to bottom. They're signing players. The Miami Dolphins right now are loaded with draft picks, and they're also making a ton of signings, which I understand you don't win in free agency. The Dolphins are doing some things too. So it's great that Brady is gone, but the Jets have a shitload of work to do before we can talk playoffs and talk anything else. So we entered free agency with a lot of high expectations. I heard over and over and over again how the Jets are going to get Conklin and Thuney and all these big names, Glasgow and everybody else. And one day a free agency comes and goes, and the Jets don't do anything that we expect. Joe Douglas is clearly, I don't want to say bargain shopping, but he has a value on certain players, and he's not going above it. He's not chasing big names as of now. He's not chasing the big contracts. The cornerback market is blown up. He didn't get involved in none of that. So you bring back Alex Lewis, with a guaranteed $6 million. I usually focus on the guaranteed money instead of the contract. 3 years, $18 million doesn't really mean anything to me. It's what's guaranteed and how fast can you get out of it. So Alex Lewis is a Joe Douglas guy, physical, emotional, versatile, $6 million guaranteed. It makes sense. I think we all knew this was going to happen, so I'm not surprised. George Fant from the Seahawks, an offensive line that sucked. The spin on this is that he's versatile, left tackle, right tackle, only $9 million guaranteed. I don't know what to say here. I'm not an offensive line analyst. From what I've seen, it's not impressive. He's athletic. That's what the Jets are telling us. He's a former basketball player, which is great, I guess. Listen, this offensive line is the biggest priority for this team. So if you want to make the draft your priority and say, listen, at number 11, we're going to draft all offensive linemen in the first 3 rounds, cool. Then spend the money in free agency on other positions. But right now, it's like a lot of big names are off the board, and the Jets just don't seem to be biting. They could maybe try to trade for Trent Williams. Maybe there's guys you're looking at that we're not aware of. But, right now, if you're looking at your offensive line, I can make an argument that Kelvin Beachum, even though he's older, is better than the left tackle they have now. Are we assuming that Jonathan Harrison is going to be our center? Are the stories about Brian Winters staying true? And then Adoga is not a starter. So you still need there's so many things here that, after a day that you're just kind of shaking your head. But I'm not going to overreact. I'm not going to say Joe Douglas sucks. I'm not going to say anything else because a lot can happen between now and the first day of training camp. A lot can happen between now and the first day of the regular season. But it's a very interesting start where he's slow playing the market. And with the offensive line, that's interesting because that's really the biggest priority. As of now, there's no news on Robbie Anderson. All the big receivers are gone. Cobb signed, Amari Cooper signed, A.J. Green's franchise. So maybe Robbie Anderson's up next. Maybe they bring him back. Maybe his number does come down, which would surprise me. Looks like Jordan Jacobs is going to be gone. Brian Poole's not re-signed. So there's a lot of things that could still happen. I'm just a little bit surprised. We all know that the Jets have 20-something free agents that they have to, a lot of guys you have to fill in with the roster. But I thought they'd be a little more aggressive with certain players who get, building blocks. The one thing I don't want on the offensive line is Band-Aid guys. So we have this same conversation next year. Oh, we need 3 more linemen. You kind of want to get guys that are going to be here 3 or 4 more years. Now, Alex Lewis could be one of those guys. Maybe Fant is too. But you kind of want to get these younger players. We say, okay, listen, here's our left tackle for the next 5 years, which could be your draft pick. Here's our center for the next 5 years. You want to have, that when the Jets under Sanchez were rolling, you knew what your starting lineup was every week, and they were consistent. You don't want to, the thing on Fant, he's an inconsistent player. Alex Lewis, injury concerns. You kind of want to have your rocks, your foundations, your anchors. This is how you build around your quarterback. Like the Buffalo Bills, they give, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, after they already have John Brown, all these other speedsters all around him. Like even Kyler Murray, they give him friggin' DeAndre Hopkins. I don't even. It's just I'm not gonna overreact yet. It's only day one of free agency. It's an interesting play. It's the complete opposite of what Mike McCagnon used to do, chasing names and big splash signings, which we know a lot of times doesn't work. But you can build through the draft, but you also got to sign quality players. You got to find your building blocks, and you got to get these guys in here. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure this show tonight's gonna be complete chaos. Enjoy it. Follow us. Let's Talk Jets Radio on Twitter. I'm TRausch21, TRAUCH21, and we'll talk to you then.